Golden Bluted back with another video just for you, the college football fan. So if you are a college football fan, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. Easy, simple, fast, and free, and you'll get access to all my content. Look, it's a long off season, and I'm here to get you through it. Check out our Patreon page. A lot of time and effort going into that, and I call my Patreons the shot callers because I let them call the shots. We also have a great website designed and created by Joey Foster, 8 great writers led by our head writer Michael Walker. In today's video, it's gonna be a good one. Massive changes are being proposed for college football. The latest change is actually being proposed by the Ohio State AD, Geene Smith. And he's got some big ideas for college football. First of all, he proposes that college football separates from the NCAA. A lot of people are suggesting that. The last person that I heard was, who was that name? Oh yeah, Dabo Swinney. So he proposes that college football separates from the NCAA and be operated by the college football playoff and have their own rules and to include all 10 conferences. So the biggest difference from his proposal to what Dabo Swinney suggested was Dabo Swinney said 40, 50 top brands separate, create their own playoffs and national championship. The Ohio State guy says, no. We'll include all 10 conferences. I like this idea better. I want everybody to have a chance. He suggests that the NCAA can still hold the NCAA tournament for basketball and the Olympic sports. So basically, this is just about college football. So here are the things that he suggested. Minimal standards for membership. I don't know what that means, but basically, if you're in one of the 10 conferences and Notre Dame, you're in. He also says create your own rules. Create your own governing structure. Create your own enforcement of those rules. Create your own requirements, but keep the academic requirements. So he's not pushing academics aside. I like that. The scholarships still mean something under this proposal. And he also suggests that the FBS take on the FCS model of the playoff expansion. I like this a lot. I think this is a perfect direction for college football to go. This is probably one of the best proposals that I've heard so far. I know a lot of you aren't going to like it because it's going to include a lot of teams into the playoffs, but I really like this idea. I think the NCAA is outdated. I don't think the NCAA should have anything to do with college football, especially since this NIL was passed and the transfer portal is running rapid. The NCAA can do nothing. At least with this proposal, they can put rules in place for the NIL because right now, I'm telling you, there's no rules for it. Tampering doesn't matter. You can do that all day long. Nothing's going to happen. Well, under this, there's going to be rules on the NIL, including tampering. So it's not just whoever has the most money gets the best players, because that's what we're looking at right now. Pay to play. Whoever has the most money gets the best players, and if teams want to keep their players, they have to shell out some money. That is not how college football needs to be run. And I'm not saying the players shouldn't make money. Of course they should. A lot of people have made money off these players. Why can't they make money off themselves? But it can't be a bidding war. That's where things get dicey. That's where medium brands become irrelevant. And I'm talking about my team, West Virginia. We could also be talking about a Virginia Tech, a Virginia, an Oregon State, a Washington State, an Indiana, a Northwestern, a Vanderbilt, a South Carolina. You know, decent brands, but they're not at the highest level. If something's not done about the NIL as far as rules and regulations, those mid-tier brands who still have a chance to be great will become irrelevant because they do not have the same amount of money as the Ohio States, the Alabamas, the Notre Dames, the Oklahomas, the USCs, the list goes on and on. And the thing that really excites me about this is an Ohio State guy. A guy that's part of one of the biggest brands in the nation, if not the biggest brand. And he's all for rules and regulations. So that tells me the character of this guy. I like him. Now, as far as the FBS taking on the FCS model, here's what it would look like. A lot of people don't realize that under the FCS model, they bring in 24 teams. The top 24 teams make the playoffs. I like that because that's almost all of the top 25. Literally, the only team that's left out is number 25. So rankings mean a lot, and they're actually valid. You know how we talk in the preseason our way too early top 25 or week 2 our top 25? Now that conversation will be a lot more interesting because we know that 1 through 24 getting into the playoffs. So let's say this was in place last year. What kind of matchups would we have gotten in the playoffs? So here's how the FCS model is set up. The top 8 seeds get a single bye, so they don't have to play in the first round. They get the winner of the first round, and all of these are home games. Now, in previous proposal, the top 4 seeds get a bye, but they don't get home field. But in this proposal, they would get the bye week and still get that home field advantage for the first game. And then once it's down to 8 teams, that's when we can go to the bowl format. So here's how it would look if this were in place last year. At the top of this bracket, well, first of all, the team that would have barely missed the playoffs because they were number 25 would have been Texas A&M. So for all you people that claim that Jimbo's a great football coach at Texas A&M, yeah, last year they would have missed the playoffs in a 24-team playoff format. That's not a great coach. We'd have the 17 seed Wake Forest, who finished the regular season 10-3, at number 16 Oklahoma, who finished the season 10-2. So Oklahoma would get to host a playoff game. The winner of that has to travel to number 1 Alabama Tuscaloosa. Of course, they finished the regular season 12-2 SEC champs. So Oklahoma would get a home playoff game, and Alabama would get a home playoff game. Winner of that goes on to the bowl format. Right under that, the number 24 seed San Diego State finished season 11-2. They would go on the road to Oklahoma State, who finished 11-2. Winner of that would go to Oxford, Mississippi to take on the number 8 seed Ole Miss, who finished the season 10-2. So Oklahoma State would host a playoff game, and then the next round, Ole Miss would host a playoff game. Winner of that goes on to the bowl format. Right under that, the number 21 seed Arkansas finished season 8-4. They would go on the road to the 12 seed Pitt, who finished the season 11-2. So Pitt would have gotten a home playoff game. Winner of that would travel to South Bend, Indiana to take on the 5 seed Notre Dame, who finished the regular season 11-1. So Pitt would host a playoff game, and then Notre Dame would host a playoff game. Winner of that goes to the bowl format. Under that, we have the 20 seed Houston, finished the season 11-2. They go on the road to number 13 BYU, who finished season 10-2. So we have two technically group of 5 teams playing each other in the first round of the playoffs. I love it, but it gets even better. The winner of that goes on to play the 4 seed Cincinnati, who finished undefeated 13-0. So the winner of the first round group of 5 matchup would go on to create another matchup of 2 group of 5s. That's amazing. So BYU would host a playoff game, and then Cincinnati would host a playoff game. Winner of that goes to the bowl format. Now we're on the bottom half of the bracket. The 19th seed Clemson, who finished season 9-3, would go on the road, number 14 Oregon, who finished the season 10-3. Winner of that goes to Athens, Georgia to take on number 3 Georgia, who finished the season 12-1. That could actually be a rematch between Clemson and Georgia, or a preview of the first week between Georgia and Oregon. So Oregon would host a playoff game, and then Georgia would host a playoff game. Winner of that goes on to the bowl format. Right under that, number 22 Kentucky finished the season 9-3. They go on the road to number 11 Utah, finished season 10-3 Pac-12 champs. Winner of that goes to Columbus, Ohio to take on number 6 Ohio State, who finished the season 10-2. And if Utah won, it would have been the Rose Bowl that we saw anyways. Utah would host a playoff game, and then Ohio State would host a playoff game. Winner of that goes on to the bowl format. Under that, we have number 23 Louisiana, 12-1. They would go on the road to number 10 Michigan State, who finished the season 10-2. The winner of that would go to Waco, Texas to take on number 7 Baylor, who finished the season 11-2. So Michigan State would host a playoff game, and then Baylor would host a playoff game. Winner of that goes on to the bowl format. And finally, the very bottom of this bracket, the number 18 seed NC State, who finished season 9-3, would go on the road to number 15 Iowa, who finished 10-3. Winner of that goes to Ann Arbor, Michigan to take on the 2 seed Michigan, who finished the season 12-1. So Iowa would host a playoff game, and then Michigan would host a playoff game. And that Michigan-Iowa matchup would have been a rematch of the Big Ten Championship. I don't know about you, but to me that looks like a pretty stinking good playoff. I think it makes the rankings more relevant. I think it makes the championships more relevant, and it still awards the top 8 teams. They get the bye week and still get the home playoff game. That's the one thing that I was a little iffy about the 12-team proposal. I like the buys for the top 4 seeds. They don't get that home field experience. In this proposal, they would get the bye and the home field experience. I like it a lot. So for me personally, I would actually back the Ohio State AD Gene Smith in this. I think it makes sense. I think the playoff format is amazing. I think it would create a lot of great matchups, and it would still keep those higher tier bowls relevant, because once you get past the second round, that's when you go to the bowl format. Y'all let me know what you think about this proposal. I know a lot of people are going to like it, but also a lot of people are going to hate it. This is going to be a big back and forth on this one. Can't wait for the comments. That's all I got for this show. Like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you on my next show.